since November.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is progress meeting number 15 for the Donovan Smith Mobile Home Park Sewer and Water Extension Project. So we have used 442 days out of the 630-day contract. So it leaves 188 days left, which is about 70% of the time. And I didn't fill it in, but it can now. It's about 38% of the work has been completed. Again, that big differential is because of the delays in getting the project started. The project was awarded in February. We really didn't get any work done until late May. So I've asked Teal to revise the schedule, and they have, and it's attached now to the end of this agenda, which basically shows some adjustments because the sewer installation was supposed to have been done April 1st, and it's turned out to be more like May 1st. The good news is it still looks like the project will get done sometime in November, which is pretty much on schedule. So I'll go through the work completed since the previous meeting. Teal completed 669 linear feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer. So with that, all the sewer main has now been completed on the project. They set manhole 29 and 30, so all the sanitary sewer manholes have now been installed on the project. So sanitary sewer, gravity sewer is complete, as are the manholes. They did 315 linear feet of sewer laterals, 23 cleanouts, 18 wide branches, and 158 cubic yards of type B stone. So where that puts us in terms of productivity and projections, on the sewer main side, they've completed all the sewer main to date. That's 4,612 feet now has been installed. There's no more sewer main remaining. They did again about 80 feet of sewer main a day. Their cleanouts, they have as of yesterday, they had 16 laterals and cleanouts left, which they're averaging around 4 a day. So that probably puts us somewhere around early next week, possibly Monday. They'll be done all the sewer work on the project. So that's a pretty big milestone for the project. Work to be completed in next month is essentially switch over to the water main installation, and that's going to probably start next week, I'm guessing. So, yep.
Shifting gears.
So the status of water and sewer services and connections, it remains unchanged from the last couple of meetings. This is in Cooper Circle there. There were 20 sewer laterals and water services installed, and 13 units were connected. On the SRF funding side, we did initial wage rate interviews back in August. Certified payrolls have been coming in weekly, and I've been reviewing those, and they've all been satisfactory. I know, Keith, at the last meeting we talked about construction progress photos. GMB has been taking, many photos daily, but we talked about monthly we do a fly of the site with the drone. We talked about at the end of the project maybe taking some screen captures from the drone video and sending it to you that will document the progress of the entire project. Payment application 1 through 11 have been received, and I believe they've been paid, and I think I just put in payment application number 12 yesterday. There's no DELDOT items right now. We're still in the community. We're not out on Donovan's Road, which is the DELDOT road. Just a reminder to the contractor, they need to call Miss Utility 48 hours in advance of any excavations. Notification of residents. I think we're far enough along now that we all know who Dwayne is, and the contractor and Dwayne both have been trying to communicate with people as much as possible, give them as much a heads up, advance notice of when work's going to occur in front of their property, move cars out of driveways, et cetera. I think that's been, from what I hear, that's been going pretty well. Communication with residents, again, I think by now everybody's familiar with Dwayne Hoffman. Everyone knows that he's the first point of contact to reach out to if there's any kind of issues. RFIs come to me. There have not been any RFIs since the last meeting. Safety, as far as I know, there's been no safety incidents on the project to date, which is great, and we want to keep it that way. Again, a reminder, it's the sole responsibility of the contractor, and the contractor needs to abide by all local, federal, state regulations, including OSHA. Submittals, I know I talked to Johnny. He knows at the end of the job I need the AIS certifications for all materials. I don't know of any job conditions and resident complaints since the last meeting. Inspector hours, we've used 183.5 hours since the last meeting. We're up to 1,382 hours. That leaves 2,117 hours remaining. We have 4 weather days since the last meeting and 17 days total for the project. Trench backfill, again, a reminder to the contractor, we're trying to manage the on-site material to minimize the amount of imported fill that we bring in. To date, the material that's in the ground is all good material, and for the most part, we've been reusing that. Contingency items, the only contingency item we had was another hour of utility crew rate, which brings the total to 21.5 hours to date. Again, a reminder to the contractor that at the end of the job, we're going to require a set of red line record documents as built for the project. Change orders, there's been 2 change orders to date that were executed. The change order 1 and change order 2 were for the water connections. There were some additional water connections and some changes made to the details of those water connections that necessitated change orders 1 and 2. There's a proposed change order out there, number 3, for $116,233, and that's for the contractors requested additional compensation for the groundwater conditions that he encountered on the site through the wet months. So we're still, the board and GMB is in the process of evaluating that change order. I guess what I can report to date is, in looking at a lot of the data, it's pretty clear that the groundwater conditions were extremely high, much higher than normal. Since December, we've gotten 10 inches above average rainfall, and so we're in the process of evaluating that. We haven't made a final determination. Discussion items. I know last month the resident at at lot F8 complained about issues with pumping out the septic tank. I've also heard from Denrec and others. I heard from Tony Garcia that the existing septic system is in bad shape, and I don't know if that's due to the high amount of rain we've got or what have you. So there is an urgency, if you want to call it that, to try to get people connected onto the sewer. The good news is on the schedule, that's scheduled for June 1st, which is only a month away, and we're actually trying to expedite that and move that up if we can. So Harry Caswell is the plumber. He's a subcontractor to Teal who does that work. So I know Teal's been in communication with Harry, trying to push that up as much as we can. So that's kind of where that stands. But starting early June, people will now start getting hooked up on the sewer side, now that all the sewer is in. So with that, I'm going to go around the room and open it up to any questions and any comments that people might have. I'll start with Robin.
Yep.
Austin?
Good.
Ames? John?
I'm sorry.
Keith? I don't know your name, Mrs. Everybody here good on this side? Room's good?
Yep.
I know your name. Sharon?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Since the beginning, I inquired, even the first meeting when you had the plans laid out of the future project, that there wouldn't be any issues regarding landscaping, trees, gardens, and such. And I asked you personally when we met regarding the stormwater surge that we've had, and another one since then. And the tanks were filled. They weren't empty, so it was stormwater and overflowing 2 septic tanks. It's happened twice now on the lot. I have it all documented in the dates. But you assured me, and Mr. Hoffman assured me that, and I understand if you had to take the trees down, the installation is far more important, but as a matter of courtesy and to spare me more hardship, it would have been nice to have received a notice or an offer for extra compensation to have these trees relocated. They're 11 years old. I had a mud rut when I leased that lot, and I'm trying to turn it into.
So are you saying that some trees were removed from in front of your unit? So
My tree line along the driveway on my unit and approved by Miss Utility, even the garden in the front because of the transformer and the Verizon phone boxes within all that. Yeah, 2 trees were taken down and the third one's in the ground but poorly damaged and leaning. It could fall on my car or my neighbor's car. I certainly don't want that. So I have these giant trees laying in the front of my yard.
So my understanding, there's been several trees that were removed, there's been bushes and shrubs that were removed, but my understanding, whatever's been removed was not on the lot for any individual units. It was in the right of way of the road. And there was discussion before the contractor removed any of that, there was discussion with the mobile home community manager, could these be removed? And they gave the approval to go ahead and remove these.
Yes.
So
Well, I'm telling you, they're on my lot. They were my responsibility.
So I'll have to take a look.
And I've not received, I never received prior notice, or an affirmation of what's true and what is hopeful. I mean, anything that's been said to this community has been a lot to digest. And everyone of authority and jurisdiction is saying yes, yes, yes. I watch the men out there every day. The work is amazing. It's exemplary. And it's dangerous and it's dirty, and we greatly appreciate it. But we are still continuing to be abused by the property owner. And I have to think that perhaps it's the mutual law firm that you share with the property owner that keeps this stuff going, because they seem to be telling the truth, and whatever we bring to the table could be or generally isn't, considered.
So the
I'm
only
getting stepped on, I'm saying too much, I always do.
No, so what I can tell you is I could come out and take a look at it for
Sure.
you and
But
show
who's
you.
responsible for the hardship, for the loss? They are, my driveway goes further past the tree line. I was told that was my lot.
I'll come out and take a look at it. I'll bring the drawings with me and I'll show you where the line is drawn, the jurisdictional line is drawn between what's the city and what's the communities.
Correct. Now, why didn't it happen before all the physical changes occurred? I mean, I know you have a difficult job. I knew you were gonna run into more problems than you ever anticipated. But, you know, now I'm being told by you also, sir, that the landowner is responsible for the grading once all this installation is complete. Is that true?
The grading
Of each lot, because there are lots that, where the lots have never been graded, even though they're included in our rental lease. So there are lots higher than other. My lot is now much lower than the road.
Yeah, so I could tell you that the scope of this work does not include any lot grading. The grading, there will be grading of the road and repaving of the road, and I've talked to you about the ADS drain system. I
Yes,
gave
sir.
you information on that. That's
Appreciate that, yes.
going on Grandview, but there's no work going on the lot. I mean, so wait, let me back up a little bit. So they're gonna install water and sewer connections, which are mostly in the back of all the units that are there, the mobile homes. So in the course of doing that work, they have to dig a trench and backfill. So they will regrade that small area and restore it.
I see that, yes.
But that's the extent of any sort of
Yes, sir.
regrading.
And I completely understand that, that's not your realm of expertise. But my concern is how do we hold the owner accountable? Because if he continues on with this practice of negligence, the stormwater runoff, the massive erosion spots that we have, mostly around what was corroded by the broken septics, if he doesn't do that, it's gonna undo this beautiful project, this huge grant. Because, you know, how are you gonna hold this man, this company, excuse me, this corporation accountable for doing what he must do in order, he's gonna ruin the project with this kind of stormwater rushing.
So I'm not really familiar of what you're specifically referring to, these lots that need to be regraded, et cetera. But I can tell you it's not in the scope of this project to do any of that type of work.
Yes, I kind of assumed that, but I was asking you in public, who can we turn to make sure that the lots under such a massive project will be regraded to spec to the new road and to all the installations? Who do we speak with? Yeah, I know, we hear that, that's the answer we hear quite often.
Well, I think one of the pieces you had mentioned was like specifically to the septic tanks, because when Teal goes in for the formal abandoning,
Yeah,
I think there would be remediation to those areas.
around the tank itself, where the tanks get.
Yeah, but when the tanks swell, which they are right now, and infect two occupied lots of full-time residents, I mean, you know, there's no accountability for living in septic soil and residue from a spill. April, I have the time dates in the events written down.
So that is, yeah, that is really DENREC's jurisdiction, and DENREC Derek Carruthers has been at some of these meetings. He
Yes,
couldn't
sir.
make today's meeting. In fact, there was a complaint registered at the last meeting, and Derek went out and followed up on that right after the meeting. So that is the best bet if there's observation of problems like that with overflowing septic systems. That would fall under his jurisdiction.
And that's who I approached when this septic spill happened. Okay.
How are you communicating with the residents?
Yeah,
Do you have our addresses? Do you have our text numbers? Do you have our emails? Because 1/3 of the residents are out of towners. Like, 90% of these buildings here, and we don't get any notice of what's going on, nor do you start digging into people's lots, I guess. We don't know where you're going to put the lines and how much digging and how much disruption of our lots are going to be. I think it's really great that you come to Sharon's lot, but will you be coming to 80 lots? And that would be great too, because I'd like to know where is the trench going to be, and where is another trench going to be, And where's the line gonna be for our lot, for example?
So all that is,
Water and the sewer. Now, I understand that it's online, and I also understand that the plot is online, but I have not been able to expand that so that a person can actually see what that is. It's sort of in miniature. Two, we were never given any boundaries of our lots when we got there.
Yeah.
So how would I understand about right of way,
Yeah,
but we don't really know this, so you know where our lots begin and end, and we do not. So maybe that one that you have in the, in the MOU and all that, whatever your proposal is, maybe you could like expand it so people could actually see, because it's very tiny. I've been trying to look at it for at least a year. So there's
all these,
communication, and there's lot plots and where you're putting the lines in our lots.
so everything is on the contract drawings,
No,
and
but
they've
they're
been
very
shared
small.
from the start.
You can't see it.
And when I say everything, so all the new utilities, where they're going in exactly in reference to the road, in reference to each individual unit is all on the drawings. These, what you're calling lot lines, they're actually on the drawings, and they were given to us by Mr. Burnham.
Now, what I'm saying to you, a plot online in a tiny PDF is not what I did in real time. It would be really nice, like, what do the little blue flags mean? What do the little green flags mean? Then there's some checker.
So, I mean,
One
listen,
email could explain this, sir. I'm not trying to be cross with you, but communication is key.
I was gonna say,
Dwayne is on site every day.
But 1/3 of us pay taxes here. I don't think I've ever really seen you, and I know some of the outer staters have never really met you. So maybe what we can do is inform the community to try to be down, even if they're out of state, to meet you, so you can say, this is where my water line is gonna be, and this is where your sewer line is gonna be. That's all I'm really asking.
Well, when they staked it out, and we went through this in the very beginning of the project, because people were asking what the yellow flags were, what the pink flags were, the blue flags. Like I said, the green flags are for the sewer, okay? And that will represent where your sewer line is going to, your clean out is gonna be on your property. And that clean out goes to the back of your trailer or wherever your connection is, that's where we're gonna make our connection to your house, okay?
Okay.
The blue
How long has
flags,
this project been going on for more than a year, so I may have forgotten?
the blue flags are for water, okay? So we have a straight line for the water main where it's gonna be, and then behind it is another blue flag, and it'll say CS for curb stop. That's where your the water line's gonna come to your property, and that's gonna go to where your connection's gonna be made to your house. In Sharon's incident, with the septic field is higher than her yard. So unfortunately, all the water's gonna run that way in a rainstorm, and if the tanks overflow, that's gonna happen. There's nothing that we can do about that. And that is not, nobody's gonna be regrading that to make that right. What was some of the other questions?
Communication, do you have our emails, addresses, text or whatever, so we can get, because you say you try to communicate.
Well, when
As I
say
walk
that,
around, people all the time come out and talk to me. All the time. I mean, even people that don't live here, as I'm walking down the street, I mean, yesterday was almost 20,000 steps. And people come back and talk to me all the time. Am I right?
No, Mr. Mulder talks to you all the time, and that's how we hear. But the truth is, if I send it out on an email, that would be what you told Mulder, you know? And he's very good, but
I mean, all you need to do is contact you.
So what we'll do is we'll just have them all contact you.
I gave Jonathan, am I right, Jonathan, my cards, I gave you a stack of cards, and I still hand them out to people that are in development. If you have any questions, please give me a call. Don't hesitate.
the plans that Dwayne has they're blowing up, so
We did see the huge plan.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's-
where is that located?
Dwayne has a set.
I have it in my truck every day.
Dwayne has
In your
it.
truck?
Every day.
So we can just ask you to roll it out?
Yes.
You mind coming by?
I do it all the time for different people. John, have we done it with you?
I'm not doubting you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just asking.
I'm just saying, I do it all the time.
Thank you.
Another thing with Sharon's property, we took out 2 trees, okay? I had asked permission, are you gonna be all right if we remove the trees? The trees are exactly where the clean outs. Pardon?
Permission, you asked permission?
I talked to Sharon before we did it, okay? And there were some flowers there. I said, do you want these flowers? If you can save them, yes. So we dug them up, put them in a wheelbarrow, and moved them out of the way. There's no way to put the clean out on her property if we don't remove these trees.
Would you guys find it beneficial, and I did this once before, so when that stormwater issue came up over at your property, and it was the whole situation where they came in, the actual owner came in, hired a contractor, cleaned it out, I'm more than happy to send an email to the park attorney and also to the park owner, and let them know about your concerns specifically on that lot. So when these guys finish up and they abandon that septic per Denner, if that concern still exists in
Yeah,
the lot,
it will.
I'm more than happy to send an email
Please
to
do
them
that.
about that. So all I need is a lot number, and I'll reach out to both, the attorney for the park owner and the park owner himself. I have no issues.
So what you're saying, they may be able to, once they take the tank out, they may be able to grade the lot so she won't get the water damage, is what you're saying?
Well, just like we did on the drainage issue, we being Teal went out there and did work, but then there was also private stuff that needed to be done, and sometimes it takes a little bit of nudging to kind of work in that. So Teal went, did all their work, and then coordinated with the park, and the park went and got Harry Caswell to clean it. What I'm saying is if these guys are cleaning up that area, their scope doesn't include regrading that whole lot, but at the same time, I may be able to have that conversation with them to say, look, there's this outstanding issue, you know, can we get this resolved after that abandonment takes place?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or else it'll corrupt the new system,
Yeah.
not, and affect the other lots. Mr. Luciani, you know, the way, I understand you quoted me at the last meeting and I wasn't here. I'm not out there going, oh, yes, you may. I am not giving any notice, and I have these giant machines on my property and in my driveway. The flower garden had already been punched into. The third tree that is still remaining is broken and it will have to come down. So I don't consider that a really great experience and another hardship on myself. Lack of communication. We could have made better plans.
I said that, I kinda agree with what she's saying about notification, because you brought the excavator on the driveway, of my driveway, and I was there, and you didn't knock on the door and say, well, we're gonna put the excavator on your driveway. I mean, and we also have a disagreement about the damage that was done to my driveway. And like I say, my truck was parked on the driveway. I think I went to the store and came back, and the excavator was sitting on top of the driveway. And you could have knocked on the door or talked to my wife. She was sitting in there, and nobody knocked on the door and say, I'm gonna bring this excavator on your property.
Just nice.
It would have been nice just to say.
Not at the moment, though.
Yeah, I mean, it
at
would
least
just been
48
nice to say,
hours.
I'm gonna come on the property and bring the excavator on there.
Well, I know Dwayne's doing his best as far as that goes.
We know.
Yes.
I really,
But I
really,
mean, I was there, my truck was sitting there, and I see you guys doing the work. I went to the store, and I came back, and the excavator was sitting on the driveway, and it would've been nice if you'd have knocked on the door and said, do you mind if we're gonna bring this excavator on there? And like I say, you pretty much damaged the driveway, and, you know, now we're in disagreement about how to fix it. The motor, we have one more question right here, motor.
Yes. Have we already talked about the dust in the park? My name is Mike Mulder. I'm a homeowner in Donovan Smith mobile home park. I live on Seneca Street, right across from the, I won't say it like it is, the shit fields in front of me.
That's Derek's not here.
What's that?
Is Derek here today?
Yeah.
Not
No,
represented?
Derek sent me an email before the meeting, he just let me know he wasn't, but any questions related to Derek, to forward them on, so I'll make a note just so he's legit.
So I've got that to contend with hopefully in a few years, what this settles, it'd be good again. Some nights I can't even sit out on the porch, the stinks so bad. Sometimes it even comes in the house, all closed up. But I know that's gonna be alleviated here. The main thing is the dust. I don't know if I said Seneca Road or Seneca Street. Well, it used to be a street, now it's a road. They're all dirt roads, and I understand why. I don't have a problem with that. You know, with younger people, young kids, and the only place half the play is in the road. There's no green space, no playground, no nothing there. And that's what they do. And so, you know, these kids are growing. You know, I'm talking like 2, 3, 4 years old, 5 years old. And that dust, it's not good for them, their health. And it's not good for mine. Older people there, same way. It's not good. You know, I have COPD, I have a lot of other things besides that, but I don't want to take up the afternoon. So, you know, even the older people, it's hard. We got one lady in there that had a collapsed lung. Another lady in there is on oxygen 24/7. It's just, it's not good for the kids and us old folks. And
But
my
we'll stay
solution-
on the contractor to get the water truck out there.
That's my solution.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
We'll stay on them.
yes.
Amos is with the contractor, he's listening to this. So, look, it's a very transitory type month there in April. It was as wet as could be.
I know.
Certain days, and it was a mud hole, and then as soon as it got warm,
Yep.
boom.
I
And they didn't need a water truck for months and months, cause it was so wet.
Well,
But now the weather's
I think they
changing.
need it for months and months and months now. I'd like to see them spray, cause I know it sprays out of the side, the front, the back. I don't need to make a river on the
So
road.
I'm pretty sure, you guys tell me, but I'm pretty sure you had a water truck all last summer running on the project.
I'd like to see it there
No,
too.
yes, no,
No.
didn't need it?
Like to see it there 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Unless it rains, just rains a little bit, dust is down for one day. If it rains hard, puddles and all, 3 days, gone. Dust again. So as long as it doesn't rain, I like to see them in there 2 to 3 days a week if possible. I mean, they don't have to stay there all day.
At the end of the workday would be
Well,
nice.
by the time you spray it, and then when you have 80-degree days, by the evening, it's gonna be fine again.
It's gonna be what?
I spray from the beginning of Civic Avenue to mobile homes down from me, the dirt road. Takes me 4 hours. And it's good for 2 days. So I don't wanna hear that the water truck is just, you know, I know better, cause I'm out there with a garden hose, 4 hours every other day, doing, you know, I don't know, 200, 300 feet of that road. Because I'm the only one that has a front screen-in porch. And they get so bad out there, I can't even sit out on my own porch. A couple other really quick things, I'm sorry. I don't know if this has been mentioned or not, but the city police are not coming around the neighborhood anymore. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
they
one.
are.
Huh?
Yeah, they are.
They were here the other
I
day.
see them in there every day,
Well,
every day.
you're down there,
I'm right on Central,
I know.
and they go by every single day.
Well, I'm sitting on Seneca on my porch and I don't see them. I can see 3 roads, three roads from my porch.
They're in there, and they don't have to be because we're public, private property.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Incorporated?
We're in,
We are on private property.
true. but the city of Lewes has, what's the word I'm looking for, people?
Annexed.
Annexed
Yes, we are
that,
annexed
so
in.
we are part of Lewes.
That's right.
And yes, they do need to come in.
They will not come out for any cars that are speeding or
We
any
get
kind
plenty of that.
of, that's exactly right. And they can't come out because we are private property.
Well, they come out to that Brown house, they've been there 3
That's
times in the last
different.
3 weeks.
That's drugs.
State police,
That's drugs.
city police, no,
That's drugs.
shooting guns on top of the roof
That's
of the
guns.
mobile home. I don't know if it's pellets, but it's a pump one, pellets or BB, but it looks like an assault rifle. And they get on top of their trailer in the backyard, and they got bottles out there, and they shoot the bottle.
And I heard that.
Which they have shot people's mobile homes across the other side of there.
So I'll send an email to the chief and just ask him to make sure that they are definitely coming through the entire community.
You know, like,
They are, I can guarantee it.
you don't know they go on roads though, where you're at.
Okay.
Pretty
What's
much.
the next thing? What's your next issue?
Anything, anyway, that would be great. I don't know, I know some police forces, the officers are responsible for keeping their own car clean. And if I didn't live in there, I certainly wouldn't want to ride my car around.
What's your next issue?
Next one and only left. I would like to see more speed bumps. When I guess it's gonna be, George Lynch gonna pave.
That's I think,
So not necessarily George and Lynch, but like a subcontractor of our city.
Okay.
Speed bumps?
I like to see them put,
the plans call for several speed bumps.
oh yeah, but I hope several more, cause they need it.
Well,
They'll
we,
fly anyway. There's a speed bump right in front of me to the right by the sign that says slow and whatnot. And they hit that speed bump, they slow down and go over, and they floor it to the stop sign. Why? It's
Because
crazy.
they're idiots.
So that's why I'm saying I'd like to see a few more speed bumps in there.
I could show you, Dwayne, or I could show you.
Don't get Dwayne to show me.
That's not gonna stop No, the it's not. speed.
It's not gonna stop them, but it is gonna bring their speed down.
No, it's
There-
not,
there's a-
because the people that go over those speed bumps are idiots that go at a high speed, and that's not gonna stop. I don't think it's
Because
gonna
they're
slow
young
them down.
people, they're
Not all of them are young.
stupid.
It's not gonna stop me.
They're not
It's
all
not gonna
young.
stop them, it's gonna slow them down.
I don't think it's gonna, but
Because
could use the speed bumps.
some of the cars actually do slow down. I know there's cars in the park right now that go 30 to 35 miles an hour. That's more than 3 times the speed limit in there. It's only 10 miles an hour.
But there's no way we can have them arrested for speeding because it's a private road. And the city police are not responsible for getting speeders in the park.
Yes.
That's fine, but at least the presence and more speed bumps would help. I didn't say it was gonna solve all the problems. And the last thing is, Caldwell's gonna do from the clean outs to the houses for the sewer and water, correct? Chia was not done doing sewer pipes and clean outs. Might not be until the end of the week, I don't know, Dwayne will know, but instead of, because I know Caldwell's coming in June, does anybody know the exact date?
Not right.
First week, second week, middle, third week? Okay.
We're doing everything we can to expedite that.
My point is, let them go ahead, because most of the cleanouts are in. The water pipes haven't even started yet. So let them do all the clean out sewer to the house. And when they get all that done, maybe Till will be done with the water pipes. I don't know, I'm just thinking.
So we're doing everything we can to expedite the connection to the sewer. What you suggest there
Yeah.
So
Through the sewer
we
for-
cannot,
it's in.
we cannot dictate the means and the methods that the contractor completes the project. So that may be more expensive for him to do it that way than doing water and sewer at the same time.
Dwayne, do you know, are they gonna be finished with water by the end of June?
No, they won't be done.
No,
No. But there's been discussions with Harry Caswell to come in and start the sewer even though the water's not
Right,
complete.
which is fine, that's what I'm trying to get.
But what I'm saying to you is he's not obligated to do it that way, but we're pushing him and I think
Okay.
we're doing everything we can to make that happen. We all recognize the situation with the failing septic systems.
Right.
It's not like we're oblivious to it.
Well, I know, but
We're
there's things I had to make sure that was brought up. So it was introduced to you guys, and where you go with it from there, I hope you don't just kick the can down the road, like it happens a lot. And I'm not even a politician, so.
A question, can, you put those, bio sausages around that septic field? Cause it looks like they put a mound of dirt up there to keep the septic, cause it looks like it's like a volcano, when it blows out the side, it's kinda gone.
It's that
And it
dirt.
looks like, it's like that septic field is kinda like, you know, it's a mound, but it looks like it's blown out the side, and they have put a mound of dirt. So it doesn't, it looks like, can you get those, cause I see those construction sites have those sausages with the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about the
Mulch.
sediment control, yeah.
I know what he's,
It's called a mulch log, it has.
Yeah, exactly.
biologs.
Can you put that around that field so when it rains, it doesn't run down or run out? Because that dirt is not,
That dirt they put around there is from a septic,
but I'm just saying, okay.
so
but-
it's not clean dirt.
Mike,
Even
hold on.
right across the street from the 3 kids that play.
But what we're saying is, can you put some of those sausages around there to keep the affluent from running down?
Into the street,
Into the
where the
street.
kids play. It's a dirt wall now.
Because I think you guys have put the dirt there to keep it from running into the street.
Derek from Denrec asked me to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm saying.
He asked for the dirt,
To be
since
put
he's
there.
anticipating it should last.
Eric asked if they could put some,
I mean, I'm
if
sure, 'cause
Teal
I've
could
talked to him
put some,
before, 'cause he
put
said
some
that.
soil around that septic mound, which they did.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but it seems like it would be, the sausages would be the answer opposed to the dirt. But that's something the management has to take care of.
I appreciate you folks listening to me, but I must be scooting along. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
So is the dirt good enough in 2024 to keep that affluent from getting into Seneca Street? Is that what we're doing nowadays? Dirt wall?
Well, the logs, they detain some water, but water still gets through it. Okay, so if I put a 3-foot wide pile of dirt there, it's gonna take a longer time for it to leach out. I mean, there was already 3 or 4 inches of water coming on the road.
Yeah.
The logs are actually designed to let water through. What they're made for is keeping silt from, like, if you had, unstabilized dirt, like on a hill, you usually put those at the bottom, and that keeps the silt from going over, but lets the water through, so it doesn't get dirty water into, like, a stream or something, so the actual logs would let the water come through.
That was Denrec's ask to put the dirt.
Yes.
Okay, that was from Derek.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually coming out and going on the road.
Yeah.
And right around the boxes, it was like 3 inches deep.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? All right, so the next progress meeting will be June 5th